Hey everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new movie realization Star Wars Stormtrooper figure from Tamasi Nations and Bandai. Now this figure comes packaged in the same kind of similar packaging we saw with the previous Darth Vader movie realization figure. You've got a picture of the figure on the front, you've got the movie realization logo up in the corner, you've got the Star Wars logo, and then the proper name for this figure is Ashigaru Stormtrooper. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And then on the back, we have a look at the Stormtrooper figure with its accessories and also an image of two of the Stormtroopers with the Darth Vader figure and then a bunch of writing I can't really read. And on the sides we have a look at the close-up of the Stormtrooper and then just the name on the other side. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging. Now the figure comes with a number of accessories, including this blaster rifle that's made to look primarily like, something we would see a Stormtrooper use. However, it's been given some added details to give it that kind of ancient feudal Japan look to it as well. So the paint applications, you've got some silver metallic on the top and then some brown colors on the bottom, and then even some nice wash work on it on the silver pieces to give it almost like an added rust effect like here on the scope. So I like that detailing and just some nice overall sculpting on it, and it's even got this working like flintlock type thing again to kind of give it that ancient rifle look to it, and it actually moves up and down. And then he also comes with a sword, and again it's done with a metallic silver, and it's got some nice wrapping detail on the handle. It's also got a sheath that's just done in brown plastic, and the sword fits in the sheath nice and tight. And then the sheath itself, there's a little hook that's on the figure's belt, and you just slide it in there. And it's got some articulation there, so you can kind of move the sword around on his belt. So the figure comes also with 4 different pairs of hands. He comes with a set of hands that are closed-fisted. Then he comes with a pair of hands that are for holding the rifle. You can see kind of the trigger finger sticking out. And so he holds the rifle nice and tight, and the fingers fits into the trigger of the rifle. Then he comes with a pair of hands that are open for holding, more for holding the sword, and again for either hand. And then he's got a pair of just kind of open hands. This is probably more for like, when you're holding the rifle in a two-handed pose. It's kind of for like holding the end of the rifle. Okay, so for the figure itself, this figure has some really nice sculpting detail with it and some nice paint applications. If you're not familiar with this movie realization line, it's taking familiar Star Wars characters and kind of giving them a samurai almost type look. So we've gotten Darth Vader in this line so far, and the Stormtrooper is the second figure. It was just recently announced we're also going to be getting an Emperor Royal Guard Boba Fett Desert Trooper, which is very similar to this one, other than he's got like a yellow shoulder pad, some different weapons. But basically this is a whole line that Tamasi Nations is doing, and these figures are really nice as far as the detail and the sculpting goes. So I really like the sculpting with the helmet, the line work and everything. I like how they've kind of changed the oxygen intake area on the front, and just nice paint applications too, white with some kind of wash, kind of a yellowish, almost looks like a little bit of worn wash work throughout the entire body, but definitely on the helmet it looks nice. Now this back piece on the helmet is actually just kind of vinyl material. It's layered in separate pieces, and it's just kind of a soft vinyl material like you see with capes and stuff. And again, kind of see that material throughout the figure on the shoulder pads, which are articulated, and then on the skirt piece. It's a 2-layered skirt piece. It's got these little flaps that are on the belt, and then a larger piece underneath that. And then on the inner legs, it's just done with looks like kind of puffy pants, but it's all black. And then again, nice sculpting detail on the boots and everything. So I really like the detail with the figure. The belt is a separate piece. Again, it's got those flaps attached to it, and it's got the articulated hook for the sword sheath, so you can kind of move it back and forth and stuff. And he's got this piece on the front that comes down over his chin, and that's got some articulation to it as well. And it again is done with that kind of soft vinyl material. So the figure stands at about 7 inches tall, And you can see he's a bit shorter than the Darth Vader figure, so the scale is pretty good with these. Okay, so articulation on this figure is pretty good. Even though the figure itself has like a lot of layers to the costume and everything, they still have managed to give it a pretty good wide range of movement. So the head is on a ball joint. He can look left and right, though it is limited a little bit with this thing that comes down under his chin. Though, as I said, it does have some articulation, so you can kind of like lift it up and move it over the shoulder pads. So you've got pretty good left to right movement, and then he's got good up and down movement. And just to show you, it's kind of like a double ball joint system. So you can see there's this ball joint inside the neck, but then the neck itself also has some movement back and forth. So again, that gives it a pretty good wide range of movement. Arms are attached with your standard ball hinge joints, and the shoulder pads on these are attached with ball joints as well, so they are articulated and can move, and so it doesn't really limit too much of the arm movement. And he can get his arm out about that much, and he's got good rotation there at the arm. And he does have a bicep swivel really up high near the shoulder. Double jointed elbow, so pretty good bending at the elbow. And then he's got swivel wrists, and he's got the hinges on the wrist, so he's got good up and down movement with the wrists. And you actually also have a swivel here at the glove cuff as well. He has a midsection swivel joint, a little bit of up and down movement, and the skirt piece limits it a little bit, but again, he has pretty good movement there at the midsection. Legs are attached with your standard ball joints, and the skirt pieces limit a little bit how much out you can get the legs, but you can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg out pretty good. Again, a little bit limited with the skirt pieces, but not too much, and he can get his leg back about that much. And then he's got double jointed knees. He's got the swivel at the boot cuff, and then he does have ankle pivot. So he's got good up and down movement, and he's got the ankle pivot. And no peg holes on the bottom of his feet with this one. Hey, that's my review. Overall, I like these figures. I like the detail that goes into the sculpting and the designs of them. It's kind of a little unique line, so it might not be for everyone, but I really like just the detailing and sculpting on these figures. I think they look really cool. And the paint applications are nice, and they have pretty good wide range of movement. This figure is out now. Check your local online e-tailer, or basically any place that sells Tomasi Nation figures should have it. We'll have a full gallery of images up at JediInsider.com. There's a link in the description below. And as always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll catch you later.